Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year's. You are listening to Swimming with Kfeelz, and today I have a very, very special guest, Isaiah Collier. He is a multi-instrumentalist, composer, activist, educator, and more. I recently saw him at Billy's Record Shop, and the show was truly incredible and very uplifting, and I'm really excited to have him here today. He's played with a multitude of artists that I really love, and I discovered his music actually from listening to jazz from individuals from the AACM, which is the Association for the Advancement of Creative Musicians out of Chicago. So I'm looking forward to sharing his tunes, and yeah, welcome Isaiah. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Here, and yeah, looking forward to the conversation.
Awesome. And yeah, this is one of his tracks called Introduction Take Me Beyond from I Am Beyond. So this track I'm playing right now is called I Am Who I Be, and it is from Return of the Black Emperor, made in 2018. The track before that was Return of the Black Emperor from the album Return of the Black Emperor. And the track before that was called War Song EXP, which was also from this record. And so this, I believe, was towards, the beginning of you releasing music. And I'm a little bit curious about, like what music means to you, what led to the culmination of this record.
Yeah, I have the opportunity to really speak outside of, I guess, English and any other medium that we've managed to create as humans, but also a universal language that allows me to speak with anybody. My path into music began when I was relatively young. I was born into a musical family. My mother, my father, both. My mother sang in church choir. My father was a church musician, also R&B artist, producer as well. My younger brother, Isaiah Collier, who's also a great drummer, now works with like Stanley Clark, worked with Kamasi Washington, and all these different people. And I had an older brother who was musically inclined as well. And ironically, I was the last person in my family to learn an instrument. I did piano lessons and stuff. I sang growing up in church. And then I would discover the saxophone when I was 11 years old. And partially motivated because I didn't know any other instrument around. My older brother was playing saxophone as well. So I was like, okay, let's go with something we know. But I didn't know that I would fall so deep into it. And learning songs, my father used to be like, okay, you're going to learn how to play this. I was like, man, I wanted to learn these etudes and this classical stuff. And next thing you know, I was thrown into learning music via the church. And by the time I was 12, I started working in clubs, doing a whole lot of different music. And then I had discovered jazz around that time as well. We were doing a show on the South Side, and we played a song by John Coltrane, Impressions. And I remember I heard it before, but I never had a chance to participate in the musical conversation of it. And so it was just very interesting to hear how these cats were manipulating and playing this song. And you're like, it's 2 chords, but they're playing so much. And then I would later get involved with it when I was in high school. And I would discover the music of Pharoah Sanders, John Coltrane, Grover Washington Jr., Michael Brecker, Jackie McLean, Thelonious Monk, Miles, and the list goes on to who we are now. And then fast forwarding all the way to my time in high school, I was involved with places like the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz, which at the time had a partnership with the top performing arts high schools in the country. I went to the Chicago High School for Performing Arts, and so once a year, they would take either the ensemble, the top ensemble of the school, or one individual from the school and take us on the road. And so by the time I was 15, I did my first tour with Bobby Watson of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and so then after that, I'd be selected to join the National Peer-to-Peer All-Star Group, and we would travel from Chicago, San Diego, Los Angeles, and then the last thing I did before I got done with there was the White House during President Obama's last term.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so, being there, we did International Jazz Day, and it was a very powerful time. I mean, I caught a lot of people's last shows: Al Jarreau, Aretha Franklin, Hugh Masekela. So yeah, it was a time, and then we even recorded. I was a part of the last group of musicians to record with Rudy Van Gelder before he passed. So
absolutely, legends and such legends.
It's so to be around it, and then fast forward to my time in college. I mean, yes, we knew about recording records, but to me, to make a record at that time didn't feel like it was supposed to happen until you were like at least mid-20s, about to get into your 30s or something. And at the time, I was starting to write a lot of music, and a lot of these songs on this first record were some of my first earlier songs. And I would usually be in Chicago. I do have different shows, and I play maybe 1 or 2 originals per show. And then one time I decided to take the challenge upon myself to write a whole bunch of music. And that was my first time doing a whole 2 sets of music with my own music. And somebody had finally, people started asking me, where's the full record? And I was like, huh? I thought they were kidding. And even though these songs could be done, I didn't think they were ready. But the fact of the matter that people asked, I didn't say I'm going to do. And when I realized a bunch of people kept asking, I guess it's time. And so I was very fortunate enough. I had good friends. My friends James Wenzel, my brother Jeremiah on drums, another guitarist Cesar Martinez, Evan Swanson on piano, William Kirk on piano, all graciously agreed with me to record this. And so it was my first record I did, self-produced and everything. So yeah.
Well, it's an incredible record, and I really appreciate getting to learn more about your story and just hear how you were surrounded by all these like really beautiful, positive, strong influences, and also like musical grades from such a young age. Like speaks a lot to the music that you produce and make now. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
was called Truth and Guidance, and this track is called Mr. Knight by Isaiah Collier and the Chosen Few. This specific track that's playing is from the Unapologetic Negro live at the Coda Cafe. And so yeah, while this track plays, we're going to chat a little bit, and I want to ask specifically, what does music mean to you? Like, how do you use it?
Music is a object of truth. You know, you can talk, you can say whatever you want, but music can only be received in a place of honesty. You can't hide behind the notes because they're the purest form of expression. Every positive thought, every negative thought, every emotion on both sides of the spectrum are just solidified in a vibrational form that goes beyond words. It's a true empathetic form in art, and it's one of those rare things that we as humans cannot explain in its full totality. We try to emote enough of it, but when these sounds make contact with you, when these frequencies touch you, you can't really fully contextualize what you're experiencing, but you know something has either been elevated or removed, you know, and I've experienced that in multitudes from different genres of music that I've listened to and studied throughout the years. I can't explain to you why I like this, but it makes sense. It feels good, but it also makes sense on a different primordial level, you know. So, and being able to interact in that way, to me, is like, I think it's the closest conversation that you get to have, like talking to God. You know, and that's what it means for me.
I fully agree. And actually, when I saw you perform, I did feel an upliftment where I was like, wow, I can't really explain exactly what's going on, but I know that I feel a feeling like upliftment and like something very powerful. And I truly agree, like that is the power of music. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Jimi Hendrix sang Purple Haze. Pharaoh said the creator has a master plan. Dr. Lonnie Smith, M2 Cannonball, Weldon Irvine, Nina Simone. Marvin Gaye asked, what's going on? Aretha Franklin said, daydreaming. True Boy, Timbuktu, Peter Tosh. We want to give praise and honor to all those that came before us, guiding our way. Ross G, Dilla, Fela Kuti, Miles Davis. Gil Scott Heron told us the revolution will not be televised. Giving praises to those that walk this path, that showed us love through sound and vibration. Our great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers, aunts, uncles, sisters, and brothers in this music. We thank you. We express gratitude, Weldon Irvine, Tammy Terrell, Ray Charles, Whitney, Aaliyah, Carlos Garnett, Frankie Knuckles, all our divine ancestors that put it down for us. We express love and gratitude for all the things that you spoke. To return with love, peace, and honor. Ashe.
Ashe. So that track is incredible, and it is called Egun, and it is off of his latest record, Parallel Universe. So I would love, it's a direct-to-disc record. It's absolutely incredible. I have it. I listen to it every morning. And I do, it's a really great record. It's just very uplifting. It's joyful. You wake up in the morning, you want to feel just like positive. It's like something that's really beautiful to put on. And so, yeah, I'm just curious what led to the culmination of this record. I know it's direct-to-disc. I'm curious why you chose to, with that creative decision. And then also, I wanted to ask more about like the tributes to the ancestors. You pay a lot of respects to the ancestors in this track, and then also so many other songs that you've made, whether it's like tributes to John Coltrane or other artists that you love. So I'm curious, like, what do the ancestors mean to you, and why is it important to pay tribute to them?
I would say this record is honestly responsible because of one man, who's a good friend of mine, my business partner, and one of my main collaborators for a lot of the records that we've been doing these past, I would say, 4 years now, and that is Mr. Sunny Days. Sunny had a conversation with Night Dreamer, and they approached and asked us to do the record. Now, I will go on record to say this respectfully. I was not trying to do this project, only because when I started at the beginning of the year last year, I mostly had an agenda for the records I was trying to get done. and I was just trying to dedicate myself explicitly to those projects. And boy, he is one convincing cat. You know, he's very convincing. And we were here, so I had to really sit down, you know, because I don't just do music. You know what I mean? It's fascinating that we have this misconception that creatives are just supposed to just at a snap or drop of a hat just make.
For sure.
Now we can do that. That doesn't mean anything. But for me, I'm a firm believer in necessity. You know, what is necessary, what is not present in today's music. That's a question I'm always asking myself. Anybody could drop a song about nothing. It's really easy to do. You know, I could just drop a song about partying. I could have did all that stuff, but I want to tell a story. I want to give a perspective on what may be going on, what we don't know. And for me, this project also gave me a chance to say, well, I'm always implying these sounds in my other music. It's just if you're listening, you can really hear it. Some people probably can't. So this is a chance to finally slow down and kind of show what's also going on in my head really musically. I'm not just, my music is about the Black experience and its totality. You just so happen to hear the innuendos of jazz. That does not discredit the R&B, that does not discredit the soul, that does not discredit the blues, that does not discredit the rock, that does not discredit any other quote-unquote circular influences, but those are still present to me. That's what made me be able to be who I am. I was raised on this type of stuff. Whether people know that or not, that was my upbringing. And then even with, like, as you say, my acknowledgement for my ancestors and predecessors, and I believe all that started for me when I was really young, especially when I was in church. We used to always have a segment every Sunday. We always have something talked about during Black history. Just like a nice random fact all year long. We didn't wait to just February to talk about it. Every Sunday, you would know something, whether it was Rosa Parks, whether it was MLK, whether it was Garrett Morgan, you know, and really putting in perspective how great of a lineage we came from. You gotta know where you're from to know where you're trying to go.
That's very true.
You know, and these people of the past serve as maps. And the thing about maps is maps can guide you. They don't tell you where to go. They tell you where you can. And what I'm looking for is a path that hasn't been paved already. It's too easy to go chronologically this way. We know that road already. After all these intersections have been made, where haven't we moved through? And I would be full of myself to say that I'm just doing something new. And those people before us would be full of themselves if they believed they were doing something new. Because the fact of the matter is, nothing's new under the sun.
That's true.
You know, but our perspective on it, right? It's two things can be true at once. You can be artistic and not be creative. You can be creative and not artistic. And then you can be both. These things can happen. And so what separates the creatives from the artists? It's something simple as this. You can learn about the primary colors. You know what red, yellow, and blue are. Some people just say, yep, these are these three colors, and we'll work with that. Some people take it a step further and say, but if I mix this red and this blue, I get a secondary color. If I take this blue and this yellow, I get green. And now we're adding a totally different thing from these basic concepts. You can learn with the same. You can learn solfege, you can learn what the 12 notes are, and still do nothing with it. That's why we have a lot of performers. We don't have necessarily a lot of people who transform and innovate. We can count on our hands, or we can remember the names that stick out in, I won't say history, but our story, due to their unique perspective and view on these same 12 notes.
That's true.
All these people had the same advantages as the other people that existed have equal amount of chance. There's equal amount of contemporaries of a James Brown that was alive that you may not have known about.
That's true.
They were doing the era of doo-wop. You know how many people were doing that, from Marvin Gaye to all these other people?
True.
You know, same thing could be said for jazz. How many people understood ragtime or just stride piano outside of Thelonious Monk and all these other people? And yet, out of all those names, these cats took a different type of approach and ran with the mantle in a different way that didn't seem to be fathomed by most. And those are the names we tend to realize that stands out to us. But they also have a unique understanding of things that came before, a unique understanding of breaking down things and really re-seeing them. Like we have the same, it's called an inversion. You could take the same 3 notes. You could take C, E, G. You put that E at the bottom. Same 3 notes, but it sounds a little bit different from C, E, G. You take those same 3 notes. You put the G at the base. It sounds a little bit different than E, C, G. So being able to have that creative understanding that we can repurpose these same basic tools and make something else out of it. You gotta admit,
it's really cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And so just being able to know that we have the opportunity to do the same thing. There's still plenty of musical avenues that have not been explored. One time I felt like, man, what's the point of doing this? These guys have done everything. These guys and women all through history have already done the stuff that we thought we'd be changing, and yet there's still more.
Yeah. Because
think about it, millions of years and all this music has been around. And people are still finding ways to innovate.
Yeah. And I feel that way even about like the track I'm about to play right now, Village Song. But this record in general, it's like a mix of soul, jazz, R&B, funk. And it's not truly one genre.
Right.
Like there are elements of all of these genres. And yeah, I'll let the music speak for itself. I'll play the track. But Ashe.
Ona tutu, omi tutu, ile tutu, tutu loro ye.
Aboyile awo romane wa Ponti retire oh Iya wanimi Mama wanimi Orokura wanimi no. Cabo ile Awo omodewa Cabo ile Awo omodewa One thing retire yara ile One thing retire yara ile Awon baba ila imbe Awon baba ila imbe Iya wa nibi baba wa nibi níbi àbòbìnrin wà níbi àwọn bàbá ńlá ń gbé kórì nígbà abúlé.
have about 5 minutes left. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And my last question I like to ask all my guests is, swimming in this big, big world full of lots of good things and not so good, what are some things that you appreciate, you're grateful for? What's one pearl of wisdom you like to leave with us?
I'm grateful for my family and my friends, both former and current. Everything that I do is a reflection of everything that has happened, and whether I understood what the nature of those relationships and those impacts of those exchanges, and I'm able to have clarity of what they are now, and to see how they've served as inspiration and lessons for me to keep going forward, and to know that change is possible. And that's also a choice. Not everybody decides to change, not everybody decides to grow, but to know that I have the option to.
Yeah. We all have the option to grow, and with that, we're going to grow into this last song, which is actually called The Last Song, and it's also on Parallel Universe. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Also, where can we catch you next? Where can we see you perform live in New York City?
You can catch me this week at the Unity Festival. I'll be there Friday and Saturday. Friday with Scatter the Atoms That Remain, and then Saturday with The Chosen Few. You can even catch us at the Winter Jazz Fest next Tuesday. And even I'll be at the Blue Note on Monday with Casa Overall. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely be at one of those shows. I cannot wait to see him perform live again, and I hope you will be too. Thanks for swimming up with us, and until next time, peace.
Peace.
Joining us on this journey into sound and substance, recorded straight into the groove, right here at Night Dreamer. Oh yes, this is the last song. May this music uplift you. To the next. We come from a place of love and respect, deep and sincere gratitude to you and yours for tuning in with us.